Alright, I'm here for another review. Hello everyone, today I'm here to give my review of Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister anime. So, basic plot. The main character is Uryu, that's his name. He's a high school student who's trying to get into Kyoto University for medical school. He wants to be a doctor. So, he lived in an orphanage after the death of his mother, and the death of his mother is why he wants to be a doctor, so he can help people. He is moved out of the orphanage and instead goes to live at the Amagami shrine, where he lives there, and the head priest is introducing him I've heard you want to be a doctor and all that. And he's like, yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. Well, the head priest has three granddaughters, and the priest's plan is eventually he will marry Uryu off to one of the granddaughters. And that is the gist of basic plot. Uryu is gonna have to marry one of the granddaughters, and it's like, oh, which one will he, right? That's the plot, basically. So, let's move on now to characters. Uryu starts off not being a believer in any gods, right? He's initially an atheist at the start of the show, and they go into why, and you can get why he now no longer believes in God and religion and all that type of stuff. Initially, and when they go into it, it's understandable why he does not like it, right? He initially doesn't want anything to do with any of this. He's like, I just want to go to Kyoto University, get into medical school, become a doctor, all this stuff. This is hindering me, right? I don't want to have to deal with this. He initially wants nothing to do with any of the sisters. But of course, like all rom-com harem animes must go, he must eventually get involved. And he does. And what Uryu does is he basically helps each of the sisters kind of understand what they want to do in life and who they want to be, right? Because none of them really know what they want, and Uryu acts as the conduit to kind of show them what they want in life. And it's done well, and through them, Uryu himself finds out what he wants to do. Does he still want to be a doctor, he, of course, as the story goes around, he starts to come around more to the idea of believing in gods, believing in religion, starts to realize, okay, maybe I don't, because before any time, he makes fun of all the stuff they do at the shrine. He's like, this is nonsense, right? He constantly talks them down to that type of stuff. But as the series goes along, he starts to then become okay, maybe if I don't believe in it, others do, and that helps them. Which is kind of basic understanding, and then eventually we get to the point where Uryu himself starts to once again gain faith again. But they make him a freaking dog while he lives here, though. He does pretty much all the chores, all the cooking. At first, it's a punishment because how dare a man live in this house? But eventually, it's because they can't do anything. None of the sisters can't do anything. They can't cook. They can't clean. He's hopeless, and he just does it anyway. But Uryu as a character, he gets annoying. He does get on your thing where you're like, oh my god, come on, dude, the type of stuff. But it's the thing where it's his character arc, his progression, becoming more accepting of religion and stuff like that. And like I said, initially he doesn't want nothing to do with them, but of course, as the story goes along and he gets to know them better, Uryu starts to get some romantic feelings for each and every one of the girls. So let's talk about those girls in general. So first up, we have Yai. She is the eldest of the sisters. She is an art major in university and kind of an airhead. That's kind of how they play her. Her gag is that she's a mess. She can't clean up after herself. So Uryu is constantly cleaning up after her. Yai is, like I said, for most part, they kind of treat her as she's the airhead, type of one. But when we go into her past and we delve into all the sisters' past, it is revealed about the sisters. You can kind of guess it, I guess. When they tell me about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. About the sisters, there is something that is revealed about the sisters and their relationship. and we go into each and every one of their pasts. Yai's is quite dark. I think she has the darkest one out of all of them. And you understand why she's so childlike because of what her past was, and she's making up for lost time. I don't want to say too much because I want you to watch it, right? But you know, there's that. So Yai's fun. She is the one I think who probably has the crush on Uryu first. Like, she's the one who they first kind of established has a crush on. Next up is Yuna, the middle sister. She's the tsundere. You know, she's the tsundere. But she kind of lacks, I guess, how would I put it? She's not good at, like, people skills, I guess, right? She's very standoffish with people because, you know, tsundere nature and all that. She's the one who, like, always is giving Uryu trouble, right? Like, she's always the one who's putting him down, all that type of stuff. She constantly, like, throws salt at him because of his unpure thoughts and desires. So she throws salt in his face. Like, that's funny, I guess. Out of all of them, I would say she's the one who would like him the least amount, if I had to put it, because, like, you can see where she kind of would like Uryu, but at the same time, she's the one I think who likes him the least. She's the one who wants him out the most, right? Like, at the very beginning, she's the one who objects to this whole thing the most. And of course, as we go on, she starts to warm up to him a bit. She's the one who's most dedicated to the shrine, absolutely. Yeah, that is Yuna. And then there's Asahi, who... Oh, I should say, Yuna goes to the same school as Uryu. They go to the... Well, not the same school, but they're both in high school. I should say that. Then there is Asahi, the youngest sister. She's a member of her school's track and field club, so she's kind of like a sporty one. She is the one who teases him the most, right? She's like the more, like, you know, teasy one. And that's Asahi, right? She's like the more playful one. I have to say that a big thing about this series is when they start delving into each sister's backstory and what they want in the future, that's when the show really gets going, and that doesn't start till like the second half. So the show was in 2 cores, which I did not know when I started watching. When I started watching the show, I thought it was just going to be like a 12 episode thing. And then I found out it's 24. It's like a 24 episode show. Is it 24 episodes? 24 episodes. I thought it was. Then I found out it was a 24 episode show. I'm like, damn, I would have waited, because I started watching it, and then they're like, oh, it's still going. I'm like, damn it. Okay. So that was fun waiting for all that. But the way it works, which I do like, is after we kind of establish the basic gist of Uryu living there and all that, the way it is done through 3-parters. It's like multi-part, like, adventures. And I love that. I'm a Doctor Who fan, so I'm used to multi-part adventures, so I love it, right? So, and it's like, that's a real good way to do it, I think. It's a nice idea that, like, you know, they tell, like, a story over, like, 3 or 4 episodes, and that's kind of the thing. But like I said, where the show really gets it, really starts going, is once we hit that second core, the second half, because then we start to get some supernatural elements into it. The supernatural elements. So let me see. I think it is. Let me see here, because I want to see. Yes. It is episode 11 when we start to, like, really get going. So it's not exactly the second half. So the first 10 episodes is pretty much like establishing stuff, right? But episode 11 onward, we start getting into supernatural stuff, and that's when the show really gets going. And we get a lot more intrigue and stuff delving into the girls, their past, their wants, their desires, Uryu himself, and just, like, the whole idea. Like, there is a time loop at one point. There is a body swap. There is straight up like going back in time type thing, right? Like it's really, really neat, and I like it. That's when like the show really hit for me. Moving on to other people, the grandfather, the sisters, he's a non-presence. He just shows up, says funny stuff, you know. We have Mahiro. She is the dormitory mom of the orphanage where Uryu lived, and she was a doctor as well, so she also has inspired him to want to become a doctor, and she's the one who arranged for Uryu to go to the shrine. At first, she's nice, she's got a good mom thing going on. We have Yomiko. She is a mentor to the Amagami sisters. She's a priestess at another shrine. And she's kind of like a mom aunt figure for the sisters. Shirahi is a big one. She's Uryu's friend from the orphanage, right? She also wants to go to med school like him, right? And she is a real non-factor for a good chunk of this story. Like, really, she is a good non-factor into this. She's like just the background childhood friend from the orphanage that shows up every now and then. But then, right near the end, you start to see stuff about her. And you're like, oh, like I picked up on it. I'm like, she's giving a bit of a face there. And then she got her own arc. Oh my god. That is like the biggest turn I've ever seen in my life. Where she went from being like a complete non-factor to just being like, holy crap, I'm so in, like, I can't believe we're doing this. There is a moment where she gives a like a stare and a look, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, I'm frightened of what's gonna happen here. Shirahi is like one of the biggest turn characters I've ever seen in an anime, where you think she's just a nothing side character, and then she just crashes her way in, and you're like, oh my god. It is crazy, the turn for her. When you watch that part and you see it, you're gonna think what I think, because I swore I was about to see some future diary crap happen here, dude. Like, the look she gave, I swore I was about to see some freaking future diary crap. Oh my god. It was crazy. But yeah. Tying that out with an Amagami sister. Overall, I really liked it. I liked it. It's a good harem anime without it really being a harem, because it's kind of like, ooh, which one does he end up with type of thing. There has been no announcement of a second season. I would love a second season of this. If not, I'll just have to go read the manga, which I do more often now when shows don't get a second season. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Tying that out with an Amagami sister. Overall, I think I might go with an 8. Because before episode 11, just the first 10 episodes, I probably would have said like a 7. You know, maybe 7.5 if I was feeling generous. But when we get into the supernatural stuff, show hits. The show hits. So, yes, I will say an 8 out of 10. That's what I will go with. 8 out of 10. Yes, 8 out of 10. So, that's it. I recommend you guys go watch it. If you have watched it, what did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you guys all next time.